Hi, and welcome to my journey through the lifetime magic of tidying up, where I am KonMariing my house. If you are just joining me, I'll go ahead and link up the introduction video here so you guys can go ahead, pop over and watch that one first so you can see what's going on. Right now I am getting ready to start the third section of decluttering, which is papers. I love what Marie has to say about papers, and that papers do not spark joy, so we should get rid of as much paper stuff as possible, especially since we live in such a digital age. A lot of the kind of paperwork that people used to have to hold on to, we now have access to digital copies online, which is great because then we don't have to have that cluttering up our house. So I'm not super excited to dig through all of the papers, but I will be super excited when I have a whole bunch of unnecessary paperwork that just leaves the house. So I am going to go collect all of my papers that I am able to find. I'm sure I'll find some more stragglers as I'm going through the rest of this process, and we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, so here's all of the paperwork to go through for this section of the KonMari. Next section of KonMari. So I have two accordion folders where we keep most of our, official grown-up paperwork, and some other random assortments of paper things that I have found throughout the house. So we also have a filing cabinet where my husband keeps all the paperwork from his old business, but now that we're not doing the photography business anymore, I'm going to have him go through those and see what things we can get rid of, because I have no idea. Then I'm going to have two bins over here, one for things that we're getting rid of that need to be either shredded or burnt or something so that our confidential information is safe, and then I also have another one over here for trash / recycle. Alright, got to get started. Alright, so this is what's left from our paperwork. I have a lot of stuff to go, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but this trash can here is like stuffed full. There's a little bit of stuff in there of things that need to be shredded or burnt. There's actually a lot less of that material than I thought there was when I actually looked at some of the pieces of paper and considered what information was actually printed on them. And I have this little filing, sorry, it's my bird, this little file folder that came off my husband's desk, and it's been cleaned off. Things that we don't need to refer to often have been stored in the accordion, and there's just a couple things in there that we need to take care of soon. Pretty much all of our important paperwork we're keeping are in this one accordion folder, so the other one is completely empty. They weren't super full to begin with, so I don't know why we ended up with two, but we did. I have a couple of coupons I'm keeping, one folder of my paperwork that I refer to often, and then a photograph is going to go into the sentimental pile. So Marie definitely recommended getting rid of a lot of paperwork, and for the most part I was able to get rid of a lot of the stuff that I was keeping, especially with moving and old paperwork from Ohio I didn't need to keep anymore. But we did have a lot of paperwork from my husband's military service that we are keeping. There's probably some of those we could let go, but I don't know what needs to be kept and what doesn't, so we just keep it all. Okay, so I just finished going through all of my paperwork, and it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I did kind of do a quick go through our paperwork before we moved from Ohio, and so I did get rid of a lot of stuff already. And I was just able to get rid of some more. I had, some, medical health insurance paperwork and things from old bank accounts and old credit cards and stuff that I had just kind of held on to because I didn't have time to really look through and see which of the papers I really needed to keep and which ones I didn't need to. So I was able to get rid of a lot of stuff, and that makes me really happy. I did not have a huge pile for the shredder, which also makes me happy because it's going to be a little while before those leave the house, because I do not have a shredder, and I also do not have a place on my property where I can safely burn things either. So I'm going to have to either take them someplace to be shredded, or see if I can find a friend who has a shredder or something I can borrow. But at least those are already slated to leave the house, which is awesome. So coming up next, we will be going into the kimono section, which is kind of the miscellaneous everything else.